Yes,
okay, gentlemen, I am speaking purely on the national interest, no party lines.
Yes.
Number one, you cannot have any development unless your nation is secure. Today there is a threat to national security. There is hybrid war, and hybrid war is proxy war plus conventional war. That is what is called as hybrid war. Now in this hybrid war, to tackle this hybrid war, the moment you say in the manifesto that you will reduce army, I am sorry, the local police can only handle law and order. To tackle the terror and to tackle the proxy war, you and the agents which are coming from abroad, you need army there, number one. Number two, coming to the Armed Forces Special Power Act, I will skip the rest of the things, those three things which we are talking about. The first one is the sexual violence, and the second one is the torture, and the third one is the disappearance. Now, all these three things, 95% of fake complaints are for these three things. Now, let me tell you the implication of this. If you knock off these three things from the Armed Forces Special Power Act, if I am Major X, I kill 4 JEM militants today, tomorrow the JEM commander will go to the next house, he will put the gun on the head of that man who is owning the house and say, send your daughter to the police station and lodge a complaint against Major X for raping me. Now, once this complaint is lodged, and if I do not have the protection under this law, then throughout my life, I will continue to go to the court, number one. Number two, if I don't do it, two things will happen. One, either all our young officers will get into the fortress mentality. They will say, let Kashmir burn, let everybody burn. But we will not come out and we will not protect. Number one, which is most dangerous for the country. The second thing what could happen is they will buy all these problems. Number three, there can be liberated zones as it happened in Sopar. If these 4 districts become liberated zones, we utilized 1 division to clear Sopar. Now, if it happens again, let me tell you, the nation is not going to pardon all those buggers who have made this kind of document, because our blood and our Jawans, they are not for sale for vote bank politics. They are not for dying. They are not cattle fodders. And let all politicians learn it. And I am telling you in no uncertain terms that you cannot take this for granted. The country will not allow you.
Absolutely.
Every single casualty has to be answered by the country.
But coming back to the issue,
all governments.
Coming back to the issue,
Congress cannot save you. Congress will not be able to save you.
Okay, gentlemen, enough. Let me give out certain points. Nothing to do with the power parties. I am speaking again at the cost of repetition. Number one, as Indian Defence Forces, India is one. There will be only one Prime Minister. We will ensure that India remains one. Kashmir is not a private property of any regional party or any party for that matter. So therefore, have no doubts about it that Indian Defence Forces will ensure that no mother's son on this earth can break Kashmir by any stretch of imagination. You can have your imagination as much as you want, number one. Second point, coming on to the ecosystem of the terrorists of the Kashmir, 35A. Gentlemen, if nobody can put industry there, nobody can buy land there, no industry is going to come there. If no industry is going to come there, how the hell your youth will get the jobs? If that doesn't happen, the only industry available to you is the industry which you have grown, and that is the terror industry. And how you have grown it is that from the madrasas are right under the nose of these regional parties who have been governing it in turn throughout these so many years, so many decades. The madrasas came up, the Wahhabis teachings came up, and that is why the youth which you see on the ground today is the product of those madrasas. And that is how this ecosystem is surviving. So therefore, if you want your youth to do something good, then industries have to come there. Number two, today when the army recruitment is done there for 500 posts, 5,000 people come there. Why do they come there? That means they do need jobs. They don't buy your narrative. The only problem is that few guys think that they are Kashmir. They are not Kashmir. Kashmir, we know, we have spent 30 years in Kashmir. Now, next point. Coming on to the Armed Forces Special Power Act, once again I must clarify a few things because not many viewers don't know about it. Firstly, it's not a draconian law. Every thing which they want to knock off is already covered. Firstly, we have the Army Act. All the 3 offences are covered in the Army Act. And let me tell you, in our Army Act, we have sent people in 35 days home. And that is the fastest justice delivery which can happen. Number 2, even if you are not satisfied with the Army Act, the state government, with the consent of the central government, can take up the case. Even if you are not satisfied with the central government, it is still open to judicial review. So, all options are open for anybody who is genuinely aggrieved. Thirdly, people think that army guys don't know the law. One Colonel Saab, he does the summary court martial and that is valid all over the world. So let me tell you, I am the chief instructor of United Service Institute and teaching the serving officers.
Yes.
Let me tell you, right from second lieutenant days, we teach them law because they have to exercise law in every sphere. And the law has to be exercised by the army. So therefore the army justice delivery is fast and it is well known. There may be errors and those errors we don't mind. They have been punished and that's not a